up in the morning edition, Investor Securities launches 2 new funds. Humane Society speaks out on Surrey horses. And it's Friday. Time to catch the feeling. Friday is finally here, the start of a fantastic weekend. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Morning Edition. Thanks so much for waking up with us. Just before we think of making those outdoor weekend plans, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean, who is going to tell us how things are looking weather-wise. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. Our ZNS Tower Cam overlooking Fort Fincastle is showing near clear skies, and that gives us a bird's-eye view of what the rest of the day is going to look like. Our satellite picture, it's showing some patchy clouds floating in from off the Atlantic over the islands, and that's going to be pretty much what's going to be shaping up weather-wise today. But outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds. Your temperature 75 degrees, relative humidity at 60%. Easterly winds at 9 miles per hour. The barometric pressure 1,017.4 millibars at 30.04 inches, and it is steady. The temperatures around the islands this morning picking up 75 in Marshall, Barbacoa, Greentoll, Key, and Freeport, the Berry Islands. Well, we go right into Clarence Island, Long Island, 78 degrees. Ragged Island, 78. Also Crooked Island, Acklands, Betsy Bay, all at 78. Matthew Tiny Nagua, 77, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 78 degrees. Your boating forecast for today for all areas. Northeast winds 15 to 20 knots. Caution flags remain in place for your boaters. Wave heights 4 to 6 feet. High tide 11:49 this morning. The low tide will take place at 5:48 this afternoon. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the morning edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. The Bahamas First traffic report is next with Jiminita Swain. Drones up.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
Good morning, LaDawn, and good morning, Bahamas. As you can see from our live drone shot, we're coming to you from the city center. Traffic has been a steady flow for most of the morning as it passes through Bay Street. But to find out what's happening on the streets for those of you that still may be in the house getting ready to head out, we now turn to Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Police Traffic Division to find out if there are any areas of concern. Good morning, Sergeant Thompson.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas.
Now, I know persons getting ready to hit the road. Are there any areas of concern, traffic-wise, or any other things that they need to be mindful of as they get ready to make their morning commute?
Just same usual areas of concern where we have heavy volumes of traffic. Prince Charles, the Eastern Road, Gladstone Road, and also Samila Butler Highway. So persons, they know they need to get out on time. Even though we have person at Samila Butler Highway that assists with the traffic flow, still get out on time and try to get to your destination in a timely fashion.
Now, one of the things I think that we see often is, persons are selling their vehicles and they talk about, well, this vehicle is licensed up to a certain date and time, and the person may purchase the vehicle, but why is that a concern for traffic officials?
It is a concern for traffic officials because persons are using that as a sales pitch. Say, for an example, my vehicle is licensed until January 2020, and they will allow the person who purchased the vehicle to continue to use the plates, and they wouldn't bother to get these vehicles insured or what have you. But you have to change over ownership, because if you don't, we are going to give you a ticket. And if you were involved in an accident, we find out that you didn't change over ownership or insure your vehicle, you're going to be charged in regards to same.
Now, obviously today is, of course, Friday. A lot of persons at the end of a long work week and a long work day, they want to wind down, head to their particular watering hole to just unwind. What is your warning or advice to them?
With everything, do it in moderation. You can't drink enough kicker boy juice to incapacitate yourself, because, you could fall victim to some crimes, such as rape or what have you. You don't want to drink and drive to incapacitate yourself where you get in accidents and you suffer lifelong injuries or even death.
Well, thank you so much. That is, of course, Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Police Traffic Division. Of course, if you're heading out, make sure to put on your seatbelts once you get in your vehicles, and definitely no drinking and driving. Back to you in studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Anita, now on to our top story this morning. The Ministry of Works Department of Physical Planning hosted a distinguished lecture series Thursday in the hearing room on urban planning in Shanghai. Officials from the Shanghai School of Business gave a presentation to individuals in the ministry on how, through infrastructural planning, they transformed their home from a common fishing village to a modern international city. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works, the Honorable Iram Lewis, spoke about Shanghai's influence and how the government is redeveloping infrastructure right here in the capital.
If you look at the comparison, they went from a small village to a major metropolis. Nassau, one of the smallest islands in the country, is the busiest. And again, it started out as a fishing village. And we are widening our road network. We are ensuring that the landscape or the cityscape is properly done. We're going to pay attention to density. We're going to pay attention to size of buildings. We're going to pay attention to the height of buildings to ensure that what we would have missed in the past, as you ably said, we grew up, some of the roads that were footpaths became paved roads. Some of the roads that were just cart path for horses, we turned them into highways. It was not properly planned, it just was willy-nilly. We now have the opportunity to do it right.
The capital market is now in reach of the average Bahamian. During its soft launch, Investor Securities announced 2 new gateway options into the capital markets. Company President Ansel Watson says the 2 types of funds offered are the Titan Fixed Income Fund and the Titan Balance Fund.
This will allow the working Bahamian the opportunity to invest as low as $5 per share, minimum $500, into the Titan Balance Fund. The other fund, the Titan Fixed Income Fund, is geared towards accredited investor, where the share price would be, the initial share offering will be $10 a share, minimum investment of $1,000. What's unique about the Titan Balance Fund is the opportunity for that fund to participate in investing in Playtech Systems Limited, which is the parent company of Island Luck.
Bay Street may not be the ideal thoroughfare for the horse and carriage rides offered by Surrey drivers daily to visitors. That is the view of one animal rights lobbyist after a horse reportedly slipped and fell earlier in the week, giving the appearance that it had died. President of the Bahamas Humane Society, Kim Arana, spoke to the issue this week. In a photo that surfaced on social media, a horse was showing laying on its side. Some feared it had died.
A Surrey horse slipped and fell just off Bay Street. There are some horrible photographs because the horse actually looks dead in the photograph. The horse was not dead. The horse did subsequently get up. He was taken home. He saw Dr. Basil Sands, who declared him uninjured. I've seen videos of the horse. He looks fine to me. I'm not a horse expert, but he looks fine to me. And he's actually a beautiful horse and he's well cared for. I think it was a very unfortunate accident, but it does bring to light that Bay Street is not the right place for Surreys, not the right place for horse and cart.
Providing more educational opportunities for Bahamians was one of the promises made by Fort Charlotte Member of Parliament Mark Humes, and he delivered. Humes telling ZNS News this week that the Multi-Purpose Community Center on Boyd Road has been offering 4 courses in screenwriting, filmmaking, literature, and web designs for young adults in that community.
So those 4 courses, and they're pretty well subscribed. You know, with the screenwriting course, it's supposed to run from 6 to 7, and it's so popular with the adults that are coming in that we typically go from 6 until about 9, 10 o'clock at night, just discussing ideas, looking at watching movies, critically analyzing the structure of and content of film.
And when we come back, it's all about catching the feeling with our Jimanita Swain. Stay close. We're right back after this break.
Look, it's simple. Fidelity can consolidate all your bills with our debt consolidation loan. Give you 1 monthly payment and money in your pocket.
So let me get this straight, Miss Financial Coach. You say something about cash in my pocket?
Yes.
And a savings plan with 5% interest? Wow, finally, a bank that's looking out for me. What you want me to sign?
That's not all. We also offer competitive interest rates and free financial coaching.
That's right, LD. You ain't hear me? Well, do I sign?
1540 AM, 104.5 FM plays all the Bahamian hits.
Just call my name, 'cause love is patient and understanding.
All the hits, one station. The Bahamas is moving to the music. Music that makes you feel good.
The scent of your skin is intoxicating.
Home of the #1 Bahamian music beat, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, the People Station.
This is a PSA from We Buy, You Sell. The protection of your businesses, homes, and families is very important. We Buy, You Sell offers the best in hurricane impact windows and doors designed to withstand all categories of hurricanes, with prices beating our competitors by up to 50%. We also specialize in porcelain, mosaic, and plank tiles. We Buy, You Sell. Located at number 163 Robinson Road. Call 677-2856 or 324-6427. We Buy, You Sell. Come and see us today.
Explore the world of agriculture with us. Join me, your host, Carla Palmer, for continued adventures in agriculture and the marine environment as we head into Season 2 of the program, Agriculture Now. That's Agriculture Now, moving to a new date and time, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. and Saturdays at 9 a.m., right here on the ZNS Television Network.
Watch us coming up on the morning edition.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. Not many places combine art classes with art framing in one business. Well, the Place for Art held a Cuban framing event that incorporated art, food, and a good time for many. Jimenita Swain tells us more in this week's edition of Catching the Feeling.
Kim Smith and Andrew Ash opened the Place for Art studio 5 years ago, but the space is used for more than just framing. Over the weekend, the studio hosted a Cuban framing event that saw the infusion of traditional and vegan Cuban dishes. Kim explains that he has several art students with Cuban mothers, and after trying their food, the idea was born.
One fork into this food, and it was like, oh my God, Andrew, Nancy, come and try this, come and try this. So the next morning, I said to Andrew, you know, we get a lot of people coming in with Cuban artwork. And there are a lot of Bahamians who go to Cuba, come back with paintings and drawings, prints. I said, why don't we ask Annie, which is her name, if she would be interested in doing Cuban food for a Cuban framing event.
The Cuban ambassador to the Bahamas also made an appearance. Andrew learned the art of framing from the age of 14, and now working for himself, having perfected his craft for the last 39 years, he enjoys what he does.
It's like a beauty and an art to me, because once our artists do their drawing, then they bring it to me as a framer, and I got to finish it off to present it, to make it look presentable.
While they seem to meet in the middle, Ash says he also tried his hand at art.
Well, I just started painting lately after I see what's coming into the shop now, because people move from like Eddie Minnis painting and Sean Pratt, and they doing abstract painting now, like John Cox and what they have out by Bahama. So I said, if they could do it, I could do it too.
For Kim, he's been creating masterpieces for some time now. He also teaches art classes at the Place for Art for students.
I work in colored pencil and in graphite pencil. And right now I'm getting ready for a show at the end of the year, celebrating the 200th anniversary of a drawing from my great-great-grandfather from 1819.
So you know where to go if you want to preserve your artwork, and Kim is planning to host an art exhibition later in the year entitled 2 Generations of Smith. Jimenita Swain for Catching the Feeling.
Thanks a lot, Jimenita. A Grand Bahama science teacher lauded for his contribution to a science competition over the years. He was announced as the 2019 Science Teacher of the Year during the Rotary Club of Lucaya's weekly meeting at the Ruby Swiss restaurant. Jamila Mizik was there.
The Rotary Club of Lucaya, in conjunction with the Ministry of Education, hosting the 2019 SACME Science Teacher of the Year ceremony. District Superintendent for East Grand Bahama, Yvonne Ward, thanking the Rotary Club for their continued efforts in education, particularly their contributions to the SACME organization.
This program, as you know, will help our students in those examinations. We can see the results. We're going to see the results, I think, every year more and more with student achievement, BJC, GLAT, BGCSE. So this program is so essential, very significant in also fulfilling our mandate at the Ministry of Education of educating our children, giving them the best possible education that we can give them.
The 2019 SACME Science Teacher of the Year Award recipient is Mr. Venkata Yalapragada, a science teacher at the 8 Mile Rock High School. Accepting the award, Mr. Yalapragada says he gives all thanks to God. He says in the beginning it was hard work, but he's proud that for the past few years, his students have succeeded in the mousetrap and bottle rocket competitions.
At the beginning we failed, of course. Failure is the first step before success. So like that we failed several times. When other schools were winning, I was frustrated, anger. I used to row my students, come on, we have to win this time, this and that, but my dear colleagues, it is really hard job.
Yalapragada says he will continue to put forth the same effort in the coming years and hopefully get more young teachers involved in the SACME program. District Superintendent for West Grand Bahama, Ivan Butler, thanking the science teacher for his contributions and congratulating him on what he says is a well-deserved accomplishment.
In addition to all he did, you could have seen Mr. Pagada's work in Martintown, Bartlett Hill, West End, and all the schools in the West. Mr. Pagada was a true foot soldier in getting the message of SACME, what SACME stood for, getting our schools involved, getting especially our primary schools. That was a great feat for us, and we really appreciate that.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, entertainer Johnny Cake joins us this morning on the Morning Edition to show us what he's made of. Well, welcome to the Morning Edition, Johnny Cake.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, your musical background, and how long have you been in the business?
Well, my name is Johnny Cake. I'm an artist, actor, and a jingle creator. I've been in the music business since 2012. I've always done it, sung in choirs, played in bands, and that's just something I grew up around. My dad was a DJ, and it's just something I always wanted to pursue the whole of my life.
So do you write your own music?
I write every single lyric.
Really? So what's your inspiration?
Well, my inspiration basically is life, basically is anything that I feel that needs to be said or someone needs to say or just to lighten up a mood or a party or anything like that.
So I'm curious, Johnny Cake, where, why? But I will get to that at some point. But what are you going to be doing for us this morning?
I'll be performing my single, Oh Johnny, for y'all and entertaining the whole of the Bahamas.
All right, well, this is Johnny Cake. I'm going to get out of your way, so you do your thing.
All right, thank you. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the first and only Joncanal artist in the Bahamas, the one, the only, the exciting Johnny Cake. I am losing all my control. The alcohol got me in my mood. Always knew about the junk I know, but now it's carnival in my soul. I am barefoot walking the road. Party hard is my only code. If you came on, girl, give me your show. Then she jump on me like a toad. From 9 a.m. I was ready. By this evening, drunk and I sweaty. All the woman moving their body. No one cares if you're slim or heavy. That bungie built like a Chevy. Pink and sparkles all on her belly. Had to call up my cousin Shelly. When she come with the flexing. It's time to dance. And I ain't got no shame. Bohemian girl don't play. Oh, one in no game. Bring the water, cool me off. But I still ain't out my flame. I can handle any size woman. That's what got them singing my name. Oh Johnny, ooh, you make the girls go on. I'm the king of the jungle, the carnival and the bacchanal. Oh Johnny, ooh, the girl them say you sweet. It's time to party, I'm on the road. I need something to combine on me. Oh Johnny, ooh, you make the girls go on. I'm the king of the jungle, the carnival Canal and the Bacchanal. Oh Johnny, oh the girl them say you sweet. It's time to party, I'm on the road. I need something to combine on me. Elutra down by my Grammy, or an Andres down by my Annie. Now I never been Grand Bahama, till the carnival came and brought me. The woman out just so sexy. All of them yup, they one text me. Had a case of stands from Jimmy's. Now I all wet up and I wetty. By wheelchair plane or boat, even if I gotta get towed. If the tire flat or it blow, wherever carnival I can go. Winding fast now, I can one slow. I got one girl right under my nose. I freak right up when she do her pose. Make me one jump right out of my clothes. From 9 a.m. I was ready. By this evening drunk and I sweaty. All the women moving their body. No one cares if it's slim or heavy. That boogie built like a Chevy. Paint and sparkles all in her belly. I do call up my cousin Shelly. When she come with the fancy.
Listen, that was a good beat by Johnny Cake.
Johnny Cake. I wonder if you sing that song for her, Jonathan Benz. You know Johnny's can sometimes like that in the newsroom, especially on a Friday. So expect Johnny to come in here this evening and do that.
A little shaking up move.
Well, coming up in sports, LeDon, the primary school track and field championships will wrap up the day over at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. Yes, there is a school, formerly Lutheran, and they are doing pretty well.
That and more ahead in sports.
Gal them say you sweet. It's time to party. I'm on the road. I need something to combine on me. Oh, I remember.
The Bahamas was chosen to be the host country for the 3rd annual International Scottish Masonic Conference this year. Masons from far and wide came to experience our beautiful country. It was one of the top choices.
When we were selected in Penang back in 2016 to host this conference, it was amazing the response we immediately got and the interest that people got in coming to the Bahamas. Certainly for sun, sand, and sea. Absolutely. They really insisted that we use Atlantis as the host property, and I think they are so excited to come here and to really enjoy our country and what we have to offer.
Visiting Masons enjoyed having a true island experience while interacting with their fellow brothers.
Yeah, this is our first time, yes. We're enjoying it. It's my second. I've not been back here in 20 years. And I missed the Junkanoo times. The conference has been very well organized, very interesting program, and we have been visiting the town, Nassau town as well. So it's been great fun. Yeah.
You couldn't have found a better place to host this conference. Everybody is enjoying themselves so much, and the hospitality is over the top.
Along with hosting an amazing international event, the District Grand Lodge of the Bahamas showcased their charitable efforts.
And I think this conference is simply evident of the fact that we have let it known to our brethren around the world that we are really interested in masonry, which is simply identifying good men in our society and making them better men. And the work that we do in this community is just amazing.
The Ministry of Tourism is proud to support the District Grand Lodge of the Bahamas. To stay informed, please visit our website at www.tourismtoday.com or follow us on social media. This is Danielle Bodie for Tourism Today.
Watch us coming up on the morning edition.
Good morning, it's a Friday. It's the final day of competition in the Frank Pancherami Primary School Track and Field Championship. It all gets underway at 9 o'clock this morning at the Thomas A. Robinson Stadium. The youngsters, they've been giving it their all over the last 2 days in the largest national championships ever. Schools in from as far as Inagua to Abaco in the north. The athletes, they've all had a good time.
It's been really exciting, and it's very, it makes you hesitate a bit, but it's really fun. It helps you to make friends and all that stuff.
It's been all right, good. I win all my races, and it has been very well. It helps you get fit and helps you become an athlete when you grow up, hopefully.
It helps me feel stronger
and to be like Sean and Miller and stuff.
Well, for the coaches, they are happy the athletes are performing well beyond expectations. And the GSSA sudden death playoff for softball for girls and baseball for boys. Well, the four-time defending champs, the HNS Lions, roaring back to defend their crown with an impressive 10-1 win over CH Rich.
It was actually a good game. I couldn't do it without my team. I wasn't too good in my batting today, but so I had to focus and more and rely on my pitching and on my team a lot.
In senior girls played was the Stingrays of CV Bethel getting a hard-fought 11-10 victory by C.I. Gibson.
It was rough, but with the encouragement of our team and our coaches, we was able to pull out the win.
Now, those championship games will go at 4 o'clock this afternoon over there at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex. And that's going to do it for your Friday sports. Once again, the final day of the Frank Pancharaming Primary School Track and Field Nationals will get underway at 9 o'clock this morning. Hope to see you there.
Now you can watch the ZNS network of channels absolutely free. That's right, ZNS is now broadcasting 3 separate channels, free to air on Channel 13. One channel has the regular ZNS TV HD programming. One is the Parliamentary channel, and one is the 24/7 television community page. These channels may be accessed simply by attaching either a rabbit ears antenna or an indoor amplified antenna to the RF input connector on the back of your digital television or flat screen TV. Once the antenna is connected, select TV mode and choose Auto Scan, and your TV will automatically pick up Channel 13 at no charge. Once you're on Channel 13, just use the channel selector to go to each of the 3 ZNS free channels. Antennas are available on many sites online. Free TV, ZNS brings it back to you.
In our final look at weather, high pressure remains in control, so we'll continue to have some patchy clouds floating in from over the Atlantic across the islands today. And our forecast calls for mostly sunny, breezy conditions with a high temperature reaching about 86 degrees. And tonight we're looking at mainly clear and breezy, 74 degrees for your low, and heading through the weekend, lots of sunshine in our forecast. Temperatures warming up quite nicely, so we advise you to keep yourself hydrated over the weekend as those temperatures are getting to more summer-like levels. Lodon?
Thanks a lot, Basil. We want to congratulate all those who graduated last evening from the University of the Bahamas. Congratulations and all the best in your future endeavors. That's it for us today. Make sure to join us on Monday for more Morning Edition. I'm LaDon Davis. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, your face on my IG, so them girls already know. I might be liking some pictures, but baby, that's all for sure. We following our dreams, them haters following us. Even they like our pic, because it's hashtag love. The girls in the world I see, you're the only one I can love blindly. Your heart, mind, soul devours me. Girl, I'm head over chase for that curved body. Oh, we got so much love that they gonna hate on us, trying to break us up apart, but they know they're not able.
There's nothing quiet, subtle, or easy about lupus. Symptoms of this chronic autoimmune disease are hard to ignore. Lupus attacks healthy body tissues and organs with a vengeance. Yet more than 5 million people worldwide live with lupus and often go unnoticed. In the Bahamas, many lupus patients suffer in silence, living with severe joint pain, fatigue, fever, and major organ failure. Lupus is also hard to diagnose. Patients often feel unheard and alone. Local support group Lupus 242 is on a mission to break the silence surrounding lupus, and we need your help. Visit lupus242.org Call 525-9967 or follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Lupus242. This message has been brought to you by Lupus 242 in partnership with Alive, in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
To the world.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Rubis. Rubis Ultratech Fuels. It's just better.
This is the ZNS Radio Network, the morning report for Friday, May 24th, 2019. Good morning. I'm Vaughn Albury. Corey Smith is our technical producer. Coming up, will staff at the National Insurance Board return to work today? We'll find out. The ease of doing business made easier with the introduction of provisional licenses. And the General Post Office moves from the East Hill Street location to the town center.